So it's that time again. Let's go live and let's see what's going on. See us and let's have a
But
general
it's
little
been
chit
half
chat.
an hour. Get me this time.
Okay. Can you do me a favour? Can you close that curtain for me?
Okay, and the window.
No, just the curtain.
But you better. Which one?
Do you we're live?
Which curtain?
Okay, just that one behind me.
Oh.
Okay, let's see who joins us and comes on for a little chit chat. Let's have a look.
Chitty chat, chit chat.
So Ray's here. Ray, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. How are you
Dad, I
keeping?
dropped you the grapes.
Okay. Let's see. Let's get this on the big screen and then we'll know exactly what's going on. Razaba is here. Assalamu alaikum. Khadija, can you close it off for me, Baba?
Hello.
Okay, just say hello.
Please eat me. Hi.
Okay, close
Who's
that.
here?
Close that door and go.
Bye.
Erwin, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. How are you keeping? Long time no see. Chase the ladies, man. Hi, this is my first live. Thank you very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. Thank you for joining us. Drop's Family Gardens here. Drop, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Can you go over how what just happened there? But we're back. I think we're back anyway. So yeah, I can tell you what we did. Now what we do is we basically pull the plants out of the pot and take off the potatoes that are a harvestable size. I don't know. Just take the hat out and throw the water away. And close the door. So I'm being distracted by the kids. So this is one thing. If you're new to the live, that's one of the things that you got to get used to, is the non-stop interruptions from all the kids. They'll pop in from time to time, either drag me off, or they'll come in and come. So yeah, what I was saying was what we do is we take out the potato plant. So tip the bucket and try not to damage the plant itself. So you pull the bucket out, take off all the big potatoes, and put the plant back into the bucket, and then fill it up again. And then that way you can get two harvests from one set of potatoes or one potato plant, and it gives it that, you know, those tiny little potatoes that you always end up with, those really tiny ones. It gives a chance for those to mature and fatten up a little bit. And my ginger growing after watching your video. That's fantastic. You just passed my glasses. That's fantastic. How have you found it? So let's see who else is here. Let's say hello to everyone else. Did I see Mike's allotment? Mike's allotments coming. Mike, he's a really good YouTuber. He's had a little hiccup with his YouTube at the minute. YouTube have removed all of his subscribers, so he's starting afresh. I mean, one of the good things that they didn't do was delete his videos, so at least his videos are still there. You can go and see his channel. He's a really top bloke as well. So if you don't know Mike's allotment, just let's try. That's Mike's allotment. If you don't know him, go and say hello to him because he's a good guy. He's YouTube have been a little bit unfair with him, taking away all his subscribers. He's got nothing left, and we're trying to build him back up. So if you don't know Mike, go and say hello to him. So you harvest yours when the leaves with teen leaves and then replant. Yeah, see Ray, that's exactly the same thing that we're doing. So Ismail Corona is here. Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. okay, we planted ours in the ground. Can you do the same thing? With the ones in the ground, I wouldn't do the same thing because when you pull the plant out of the ground, you're always a little bit rougher than you are with. You can be a bit more careful with putting potatoes when they're planted in pots. The ones in the ground, I wouldn't do the same thing. So you Kumar is here. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for coming in. We've got 15 people. We've got 2 likes. Let's balance that out a little bit. If you haven't hit that like, please hit that like for me. Mags is here from My Garden and the dinosaurs who live there. How are you doing, Mags? Thank you very much for coming in. Mike, not a problem at all. I mean, this sort of thing, YouTube does it quite a bit. It's very harsh on smaller channels. People like us, the we're not that important to YouTube. We, at this moment in time, we need them more than they need us, and they know it, and they know it, and they take advantage. So if you don't, so whatever we can do to help each other out, let's help each other out and get people back to where they're supposed to be. In the garden, I've been spent most of today harvesting compost, and then the rest of the time we've been building a new raised bed. Well, we haven't built a new raised bed. What we've done is we've joined. So if you've seen my garlic bed, I've got a quite a big raised bed where I grow my garlic, and then I've got the raised bed where I've got my onions and my gourds planted. And there's a grass path running between them. So what we've done is we've joined we've taken that grass path out and joined the 2 beds together. No, just leave it on the floor.
We have to watch action.
So can I sow? I'm 50. Ray's 15 away from 1K. Look at that. He's nearly there. He's nearly touching that 1K mark. So if you don't know Ray, that's homegrown vegetable gardening. Go and say hello to him. Alan Robertson's here. How are you doing, Alan? Thank you very much for coming in. Can you just ask him to be a little bit quieter? Um, how many seed potatoes do you recommend in a 30-litre bucket, and how many is too many? Alan, I'd say anywhere between 2 and 4. Um, I'd say you're pushing it at about 5, maybe 6. Very, very, very push. But what I always do is I plant them on 2 levels. So I've done a video on planting potatoes in buckets. If you want to have a look at that, that might help you actually. But yeah, I'd say I wouldn't go more than 6. Um, four's probably ideal. If they're earlies, if they're main crop, then probably 3. But plant them at 2 levels, so 2 at a lower level, and then fill it up with some soil, and then another higher level, and that way you'll be using the space that's in your bucket, and it'll fill out a lot better. Nick is here, another brilliant YouTuber. Thanks very much, Nick, for coming in. How are you keeping? How's your family? How's everyone keeping? Bouncer Slab's here. Bouncer Slab, how are you doing, man? Long time no see. How are you keeping? Um, so you still got a bunch of red potatoes to plant. I'm saving some seed for when I harvest my pots. So what I'm planning on doing is harvesting my pot, move move them into the greenhouse. Keep them outside as long as I can, and then when it gets too cold, I'll move them into the garden. Sorry, into the greenhouse, and then try and keep them going as far into winter as possible, and probably have potatoes by Decemberish. Um, I've just realised I've got this on top chat instead of live chat, so I might have been missing comments. And if I've missed your comment, I do apologise. Um, so usually too large. So everyone, there's a couple of people going with 2 large potatoes. See, I push it a little bit further, for a little bit more than that. Um, see, bouncer slabs are busy woodsman. Let's see who else. Um, None of your business is here. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for coming in. How are you keeping? So we've got 18 likes. Sorry, 18 people, 10 likes. Let's balance that out a little bit. If you haven't hit that like, please hit the like button for me. Leeks have gone into your ex potato pots. When will you be harvesting those leeks? See, we don't do a lot with leeks. We grew leeks not last year, the year before, but we because we hardly use them in our cooking, so we don't really grow them. And I think I only grew those leeks by accident. So Nick saying hello to everyone. Nick, what have you been up to recently? So not getting update for the live chat until you're live. Mike, a lot of people say that. A lot of people tell me that they're not getting notifications for the live. They're not getting notifications for when I put a video out, and it's quite frustrating actually. Um, because
Go tell
we put a lot of effort in build up our subscribers, and YouTube doesn't send them notifications. And I've even found people who have been subscribed to me. You know, one minute they're there, and then the next minute they've been taken off. They
I need to do the math.
okay, just read your names quietly.
Okay.
Uh,
I will read my math quietly.
so I've got an echo in the background. So yeah, we're talking about you. Go
Oh,
on, just do what you're doing.
sorry.
I was charged by a big. I was charged by a big female Bigfoot protecting a young one.
Bigfoot?
He's reading them as, don't worry. Um,
Meeting Bigfoot would be
so
cool.
Boba Fett is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I soaked some pea seeds for shoots overnight. Looking forward to the salad. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much for that. Potato, when you plant, how much water do you need? Depends on if you grow them in the ground or in pots. So with pots, what I do is I give them a good soaking once a week, and the way we water our pots is we'll fill our wheelbarrow up with water and just put the pots and leave it soaking in there for half an hour, and then take it out and then put the next one in, and that's where we'll water them. But with the ones in the ground, I don't because of the way that I grow my potatoes in the ground.
No, don't eat it. It's too sour.
What did you do that?
Because of because of the way
Were you
okay
trying to prank him?
Great.
because of the way I grow my potatoes in the pot in the ground in
That's to
wood
defend
chips.
his
I
mouth.
don't really need to water them at all. So I'll put once I plant them, that's it. They're on their own. Every now and then I'll give them a feed with some of my homemade fertilizer, but apart from that, I won't do anything with them. So harvesting my garlic tomorrow. I think I might have white rot. Nick, uh, we got white rot for the first time. We harvested our garlic last week, and the harvest video is going to go out tomorrow. But we've got the first signs of garlic white rot. I've never seen the disease before in real life. I think I've heard a couple of YouTubers talk about it last year, but I'm a little bit upset by it really. Mukhaddas Ali Zia, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. When is it best to plant giant garlic bulbs? The best time to plant garlic is probably October, November, December. Um, I always try and go for mid-October, early to mid-October to plant my garlic. What I did last year was I planted most of my garlic in October, and then I planted some few bulbs that were left over. Yasin, can you close that door? I planted the few bulbs that were left over in January. So is there's not really. So it was the first time that ever happened to me, Monty. I'm not sure. Are you being serious about your Bigfoot?
Bigfoot!
So you've got the kids excited about your Bigfoot anyway. Do you want to sit in for 5 minutes and then you can go and play,
Yeah.
and then you don't need to come back?
Mm,
So my wife.
no thanks. After When it's been
Okay.
half an
I've
hour.
got to put it on something that
So,
spring
any
back.
advice on bottle gourd fruits keep dying after a few days growing? I have one indoors and two of four look like they've died. Um, the check if they're indoors, your pollination might be an issue. If if they're not being pollinated properly, they will die off. The plants will die off. So the best thing you can do is to hand pollinate them. So if you strip back, if you take the male flower, strip back the petals, so you've just got the pollen on the middle, and then just rub that against the female flower. That should hopefully pollinate it, and that's probably the issue that you've got. Um, but if they're outside and they're dying off early, then check out a video I did last year called "Growing Bottle Gourds in a Cold Climate," and it'll show you how you can insulate those fruit to get them to harvest. And if you see a video called one of my videos called "Did the Bag Work," then you'll see the effect. The result of bagging your bottle growed fruits, and what you can actually achieve even in a cold climate. I think I'm falling behind in the chat a bit. So I've been harvesting loads of wild mushrooms and other stuff. Bounce a slab. See, I need to get out and do some mushroom hunting because it's nearly chicken time, isn't it? It's not far from chicken time, and we went out loads looking for morels, but had no. Morels are hard to find in the UK, um, but I don't. I found some jelly ears today growing in my garden. So I've got jelly ears growing on a few different things. So yeah, that's quite a nice one. Um, I did a test last week, and the one that I pulled had rot, and the other one didn't. Where how have you had garlic rot before, Nick? Because we had it on about probably about 10 or 12 bulbs, um, and in my main bed I probably got 1,200 bulbs. So our harvest was about 60 kilos of garlic. So we didn't do bad. That's the one thing that we are self-sufficient in. So Tanya sees here. Good morning. Planting my garlic today, but we're back. But we are back to front to you. So Tanya, are you out in New Zealand or is that what? See, so your seasons because you're in the hemisphere, your seasons about yeah. So you're going into autumn. How cold does it get where you are? Uh, Abu Ku is here. Wa alaikum assalam. Hope all is well and good. Question: my bottle gold plant only giving male flowers. I'm slightly confused. Any tips? It's just life. You've got to be patient. The female flowers always follow. Don't worry. You've just got to be patient. They'll come. You've got a madhouse, Mike. It's not just tonight. It's every night. It's every night. Every night is crazy here, and they always seem to act up whenever I'm on live. So yeah. So what gourds can I grow that are interesting? What do you mean by interesting? Because we grow most of our gourds for eating, and yeah, we grow most of our gourds for eating. So we grow gourds for taste. I mean, if you're interested in growing gourds for ornamental stuff, then a swan neck gourd is really nice. Or most gourds will grow a really thick skin. I mean, I've got one that I use as a tub to store all my seeds in, and I've got one that I use as a watering can. The gourds that I saved last year and the year before, so I could save my own seed. So I just used what I made sure I looked after the container so I could use it as a container, and the other one as a watering can. So my garlic's all bolted this year. Not sure what I did wrong, but don't worry about it. Garlic will always grow scape. It's not going to affect the bulb. They'll still carry on putting on size. Um, as long as they're not, as long as the leaves aren't starting to die back, yeah, don't worry about garlic bolting at all. It's normal and it should happen. And it's more of a case with hardneck garlic that they flower a lot earlier. My bottle gourd is struggling. Is it due to COVID? So, Mags, that's a shame. Sorry, Mags, I missed your comment. I don't know. I'm not sure what Nick's replying to. Frank Coldwell's here. Frank, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. And that's it. We've got a trio of my patrons here tonight, and I want to do a special thank you to these guys. So, Frank Coldwell, Tanya, Nick, Nick from Nick's Allotment Diary. I think he's the only YouTuber out of the three. But thank you very much for supporting me and having that belief in me. I really do appreciate it. My radishes are not doing well. Yes, chicken of the woods time is already here. So some chicken of the woods because I found hen of the woods, found a dying hen of the woods last year. So I probably caught it very late on. So I want to get back and see where that is. Simply Jude is here showing love from the Philippines. Thank you very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping well. Please hit that like as you're coming in. I have many fruits on my bottle gourd plants, but no male flowers. This is a plant I bought locally. Do you know why that is, please? Sometimes they just fruit at different times. You know, a lot of them just fruit at different times. If you've got another bottle gourd plant that's got male flowers on it, bring those over. If you haven't got a gourd, then even a courgette or a pumpkin will the pollen on that will fertilize a gourd plant. So you can do it with that, but obviously if you save the seeds from it, they're not gonna be what you expect. Um, so really don't know. My normal garlic didn't split either. I think we missed a good cold spell. A lot of mine did split. Some of the ones that I planted in January they didn't split, but the ones before that they definitely did. Do I use Instagram? Yeah, I do use Instagram. I'm on there as My Family Garden, so you can, if you want to find me, you can find me on there. I'm on Facebook as well. We've got a Facebook group for friends of My Family Garden. So if anyone does want to come in and have a chit chat with us on our Facebook group, you're more than welcome to. If one of my mods wants to grab the link to our Facebook group, that'll be really good. When's the best time to grow garlic? Anytime or just winter? The best time early autumn. So I always plant my garlic. We covered this a little bit earlier, but I always plant my garlic around the first couple of weeks of October. I try not to go past that. Um, Paul, the UK Scrappers here. Paul, how are you doing, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. How's your polytunnel coming on? How are your plants coming on? See, Paul's getting into growing his own this year, and it's nice. It's nice to see a lot of a lot of new growers. I like that. I really like that. So have you ever tried growing giant veg? Um, I'm actually growing some giant veg this year. So I've got a giant calabash gourd. So they grow about that thick, but they grow really long. One of my friends, Dean's lost the plot. He's another YouTuber. He sent me some. He sent me a seed for this calabash. I planted it out a couple of weeks ago. Let's see how that goes on. I'm hoping for a gourd at least 6 foot long. So let's see if I can do that. Then I think I'll do him proud. Garlic needs to be in over winter to help them split. Yeah, absolutely, Frank. Yeah, I had lots of it before. Ah, you garlic, you garlic rot. So what have you done about your garlic rot? Because I've heard about treatment for garlic rot that you can spray on some garlic spray or some onion juice, and get the garlic to and try and get the spores to come out. Have you ever tried anything like that? Some guys here, wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for coming in. Please hit that like as you're coming in. Watering. Uh, so my wife's brought me this sweet over, and I think they're trying to prank me, but I'll play along and let's see what happens. Okay, that is minging. That is ming. Oh, that is minging. Ah. Right. Excuse me, I've just gotta wash my. Oh, that's horrible. Oh man, I can't. So that's what my son was trying to warn me about. That it was sour. Um, I can't talk now. My face isn't straight. So, so Tanya, yeah, in New Zealand, middle of winter, but definitely mild this winter. We're expecting 18 degrees, 18 degrees Celsius. Oh, that's nice. That's what we're getting in summer. Why'd you do that? That was horrible.
He said it to me last
uh,
year.
so apparently the kids pranked my wife with that sour sweet, and so she decided to do it to me. My mouth isn't working now, so if
You
I
bite
plant,
it. When you bite it, it's more disgusting.
that I need some water. Um, I want to plant fresh apple seed uh, when is when is winter. If you want to plant apple, try and grow an apple tree from seed, then you're going to be in for a very long time for it to fruit because
Mhm.
they'll take about they'll take about 12 years or more before they fruit. Most of the apple trees are grafted, and if you plant a grafted tree, they'll normally fruit within a couple of years. So another question: any tips on growing cucumber plant? Uh, I'm giving my cucumber plant a lift. They seem sluggish. I've been watering them well. If you've been watering them well, just check that you're not overwatering them. Are they in the right size pots? How, when you say sluggish, how tall are they? Are they flowering? Have you fed them? You can give them a good, general purpose tomato feed, and that normally gives them a little perk up. Any tips on how to stop birds and squirrels raiding my fruit trees? Squirrels, no. Squirrels will get through pretty much anything unless you've got them got your trees in a cage. But if you've got what we did with our cherry tree was the blackbirds were just stripping the cherry tree, the pigeons were stripping the cherry tree. So we've stuck tied CDs and stuff like that and hung them up in the tree. Ahmad's here, some Ahmad's here.
Who's some guy?
Ahmad.
Does
So
Ahmed have a YouTube channel now?
so someone complained for some reason, and Monty got took down mid live stream. So the kids don't come in as much. They come in and say hello. They'll come in for a few minutes and say hello, but they're not allowed in to stay for longer. Yeah. So you got a cute few minutes. Yeah, YouTube
Hi,
shut us down
Ahmed.
a few months ago. So we step back.
You
Sorry,
see my brain?
sit back. I'm pretty sure that Bigfoot is eating not only all my plants but all the unfortunate wildlife.
Bigfoot!
There's no such thing. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. We need some exotic plants in Monty's house. Some Pakistani mangoes. See, I've got some mangoes growing. I've got some jackfruits growing. Some jackfruit trees growing. I've got ginger growing, turmeric growing. So quite a lot of exotic plants. Most of the stuff that I do grow is not from a UK climate. Um, what
Oh, is
we're
my tongue blue here?
see.
Oh!
Okay, off you go. That's enough to you. So, what variety of garlic would you recommend? Where can I source this? See, I just grow supermarket garlic, so whatever garlic you buy from the grocery store.
Everyone complaining about what movie we're gonna watch.
And so I just grow whatever garlic that you can find in the supermarket. Close that door. So whatever garlic you get in the supermarket, that's what I grow. Just because I grow so much of it, so I don't buy the seed variety. It costs me way too much because I normally plant about 10 kilos of garlic in autumn. So yeah, paying a couple of quid for 3 bulbs just doesn't. It's not economical for me. Let's see where I think I'm falling way behind in the chat. Uh, let's try and catch up a little bit. Oh, all right. I'm just catching up to where Nick. It wasn't just sour, man. I don't mind sour sweets, but that was just like horrible sour. My face just went, yuck. um, See, you've tried CDs. That Try netting your tree then. If you can net your tree, then that's another option. Some scarecrows, that's another option. Tinfoil strips are supposed to be quite good, but it won't deter magpies. You thought I puked. Uh, so my spud's got a second feed of comfrey tea today. I need to get on with feeding some of my plants actually. I got my all my pumpkins just rained. The weather temperature dropped a little bit and it rained quite a bit. So they looked a bit yellowish today. So I'm gonna give them a feed tomorrow and give them a little see if they get perk up a little bit. But Frank, I don't really feed my potatoes. I just leave them in that massive cocktail of stuff, and just yeah, just leave them to it. And the only we've harvest. You saw the video that I did of harvesting my Duke York potatoes that I put onto Patreon, and we've got another. We harvested some more of the wood chip potatoes, the Duke of York. Just as whenever we're going to eat something, or whenever we're going to cook something that needs some potatoes, then we'll just go out and pick fresh potatoes and use them that day. So yeah, we're not doing those big potato reveals and show it. Yeah, Blended Dreams is here. Thank you very much for coming in. Please hit that like as you're coming in. You're very welcome for joining us. Um, do I grow chilies? See, these terms topping or fimming, right? I don't. I use a term. I'm very old fashioned, and I just say we pinch them out. All I do is I've done a video on planting chilies, planting in a hotbed a few weeks ago, and I'll show you what I mean. I just take the very tip of the chili plant. I won't top them, and I won't cut them in half because it's quite stressful on the plant. So what I do is I just very take the very tip of the chili plant and just pinch it out. Um, what the exact technique is has been demonstrated on one of my videos. It's called growing tender heat loving vegetables early or something like that. And do check it out. It shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, how to it's called how to plant in hotbeds. Um, so I'm going to try some to get some wood chips before autumn. Frank, I really recommend it. I really recommend it. If you're stuck on wood chips, you can come down here and you can help yourself to a few wheelbarrow loads. Because I remember you saying that you don't have space to store a truckload. But we can get deliveries of wood chips whenever we need them. It's a bit difficult at the moment with COVID and stuff. But if you're really stuck, you're welcome to come down here and just help yourself. I've probably got well, I used quite a bit today, but I've still got a mountain of wood chips stacked in the back. Um, so what else is going on? So what else has everyone been up to today? We've got quite a few things going on. There's anybody propagate roses? Um, do you mean from cuttings? Roses are very easy to propagate from cuttings. They're one of the easiest. They're one of the easiest plants to propagate from. Literally, take a pencil thick rose, strip it of all its leaves, cut it in half, stick it in some water. They'll root in water. They'll stick it in some dirt. They'll root in dirt. If you just take some that are about 12 centimeters long, pencil thick, stick them in dirt. You've got a 50% chance. I've always noticed about a 50% germination rate. So yeah, they're very easy. Dean's lost the plot. Is here. Dean, we were talking about you earlier, man. I was talking about you earlier. So someone was saying, "Am I growing any giant vegetables?" And I said, "Yes." This year I am because my friend Dean from Dean's Lost the Plot has sent me a giant gourd, uh, and that's gone into the ground last week or the week before, and it's got its own little hole. So yeah, let's see. I'm hoping for a gourd that's at least 6 foot. So that's the guy who sent me the giant veg. If you like giant veg, he's your man for giant veg. Um, yeah, he's put some onions on, and his onions are already like that. Absolutely beautiful. I'll start ringing about. Thanks for the offer. When this is over, I might take you up. Frank, you're welcome to come. Yeah, when all this is over, you're welcome to come down. Have a little some bite to eat as well and a catch up. um, so what's going on? I'm hoping that we get a decent one. I'm really hoping that we get a decent one. Um, so yeah. Uh, Mini Doses here, excellent channel, so educational. I'm glad you think so. Thank you very much for coming in and joining us. Tell us whereabouts in the world you are, what you're doing, and what you've been up to today. Just get involved with the chat. We're a friendly bunch in here. We have this for those of you that are new to the chat. We have this chat every Saturday, 8 o'clock UK time. It does get a little bit crazy. The kids do come in and take over, and you will just like my videos. You've always got kids in the background. Most of my live streams are like that, so you're gonna have to be a little bit patient with that. Um, yeah, yeah, Gene. See, Dean, you missed it as well. My wife pranked me. She gave me a sour sweet, absolutely minging. It was horrible, man. It was absolutely horrible. Um, so my mouth's gone a bit funny, and I'm struggling to speak at the minute. Um, so he's got onions that are 16-inch round. So yeah, like that. Uh, so Ray's gonna come up. No, who's friendly? Generally, we're a friendly bunch, aren't we? Newcastle. So Paul's in Newcastle and he's chilling in the sun. See, they're up. There's a few of them that are up from the North Pole around here. There's Paul. There's Dean. There's quite a few of them that pop in that are very close to the North Pole. They come in. They come down south to have a chat with us. um, I'm from Manchester. I've just started to dig up the back garden, backbreaker. No wonder you're calling yourself a mini dozer. Digging up the back garden. That must be hard work. See, we started creating a raised bed today. We started creating a raised bed today. We don't do any digging. We just loads of cardboard on top of the grass, and then I put about 4 inches of wood chips on. And tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish it off with another couple of inches of half broken down compost, and that's going to be it. That's how my raised bed's going to go. Uh, so South Nadia M is here. South Africa came to Cape Town. That's brilliant. Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for coming in. How are you keeping? Raised beds will stop most of the digging. Yeah, definitely. Raised beds, I think, are the way to go. They'll save you back. They'll really save you back. Um, See, Dean's from the North Pole, and apparently I've moved to the Midlands. I don't. Oh, but you're from down south. You're almost near the equator. Um, so I'm in Leicester. This is the first time I've joined this live session. Your videos are very informative. I'm glad you like the videos. These live streams are generally a bit more relaxed. We just have a chit chat and a little bit of banter. We sometimes we do bring in guests for interviews, um, but we haven't done that for a while. Normally it's just me just rabbiting on, and I'll answer some questions if you've got them. Uh, See, down south. He's down south now, but born and bred in Durham. So he's another one from the quite close to the North Pole as well. I told you there's a few of them. Um, where's the tea and Handesh? You have to come here for tea and Handesh. See, Handesh are like these. I'll tell you what. How do you explain Handesh? Handesh, they're not pastries. Um, how do you explain a Handesh? They're a type of sweet dish, normally fried, um, but they're not pastries. If anyone ever turns up, I'll have to show you what they are rather than trying to explain it. Uh, that's a good way of describing it. Diabetes on a plate. It's loads of sugar and loads of oil. It's fried flour. Fried flour. Yeah, with loads of sugar in it. they're close. Drop. They're not far from donuts. They're not actually far. The recipe is very similar. The recipe is very similar. Um, Sam's allotment diaries here. Sam, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. How are you keeping? See, Sam Conder's old, Sam's played a prank on us. He said he was going to dye his hair cosmic blue, is what he said, right? Everyone's expecting, cosmic blue, something that looks like that sort of color. That's blue, isn't it? Right? He's dyed it black, and then he's telling us all it's blue. And so yeah, um, it's definitely cosmic blue. Type it on Google. See, do you know? I was hoping that we'd get something. Do you like Jazz's hair? That kind of blue. That's what I was looking forward to. And cashing you up now, Sam. Um, what have you been up to now, Sam? Are you back down at the plot? So yeast donuts, as the name clearly spelled out, are made from dough leavened with the yeast, whereas cake donuts are traditionally made with a kind. Ve- They're very similar. They're very similar. What you're saying is probably quite close to what they are. But they don't. Yeah, they're not made with a ring in the middle. Yeah. But they're sweetened with the general. This is one of the reasons that we have a lot of molasses in the house is because they use it to sweeten these donuts, these cake donuts, if that's what we're gonna call them. Uh, I'll go neon blue if my next upload gets 1,000 likes. That's the challenge, that isn't it? Um, one of I've had a video recently just go absolutely mental. So you guys know that I like playing about compost. I really like playing with compost. And what we did was I've developed a little technique of making compost in less than 2 weeks. But you just use grass and you use leaves and you sweeten it with molasses. And that video has just gone mental. It's got about 35K views on it. It's the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's just gone absolutely crazy. Um, and that one's about to get 1,000 likes, 100 likes or something. So yes, I'm with you. Uh, can you use coal instead of molasses? You can use coal. You, you know, bacteria and worms, they feed off sugar. So they that's what they're ultimately feeding off. So what you're doing is when you're putting that molasses or that sugar or whatever type of sweetness that you're putting in, what you end up doing is it's like, do you know when you give kids sugar and they go hyper? You're doing that to the bacteria and the worms, and when you give them that kick, they're just eating everything a lot faster and they're multiplying a lot faster. So anything, yeah, you can use cola, you can use cola, you can even use your own pee if you want. Um, so what's just happened to Ray? He's got what something's happened to Ray. Okay, I don't know. Um, could a blueberry, raspberry, maple sweet. If you want to accelerate your way to a stroke, you can use cola. um, William Coleman's garden allotments here. William Coleman, all the way from Canada. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Quick hello is perfectly fine. Are you keeping all right? Um, Quality guy. You know, absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Very dry sense of humour. uh, so Frank's in Best Yorkshire. That's the way you do it. Best Yorkshire. He's about 10 miles, 15 miles from me, and I still haven't been out to see him. And as soon as this COVID craziness is over, I'm getting in my car and I'm driving places. Uh, I planted blueberry plants last year. The soil pH is about 5. I water with rainwater from water pots, but recently I noticed the leaves turning brown. Any idea? Um, they're turning brown. See, are they turning brown or are they turning reddish? Because some of the blueberries do turn reddish. Uh, Googled molasses and it says it's black treacle. What molasses is, Ray? It's like a constant. Do you know what they do? It is like black treacle. They take the fruit. So a lot of the molasses that I use are like date molasses. So what they'll do is they'll take the date juice and they'll boil it down, boil it down, boil it down, and they'll end up with this black syrupy type of stuff that they can then mix and they can dilute and use yeah. So I'm back on the plot, but a 90-year-old woman spreading lies about telling people that I killed her French beans last year, and apparently the reason she's leaving. You what, Sam? That don't sound. Eh? Why is she doing that? Um, I'm great. Too much rain. It's like being back in England. We had loads of dry weather, and then the first couple of weeks of June just went completely. It did a. May, April, May. I was out in the garden in a t-shirt, and it was like this last year as well. And then the first couple of weeks of June, it just weather was back down to about 10 degrees Celsius. So it was jumper time again in the garden, and it's June time. And a lot of places have been having some quite heavy rain in the UK in the last few days. We had our share of it. Stopped yesterday, so we had 2 days of really nice rain, and I'm quite grateful for that. See, treacle and molasses are much the same thing. One is more refined. See, Tanya's given you a better explanation than what I was trying to say. So yeah, yeah, they're pretty much the same thing. Um, so your blueberries actually look burnt. Have you? Some of mine are the same. I just think they got burnt with all the hot weather and then the strong winds. Do you fertilise them a lot? Best of it, I can help. Best of it, I helped her clear the plot the other day, so it wasn't as bad when they. So you helped this lady clear a plot, and now she's saying that you killed her plants. Oh, that's not right. That's not on. Um, so Maynard Peter Thompson is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, I'm very good. Thank you very much. Check the UV level, especially the UVB and UVC. You might have to tent them with the UV protection. Um, how should you fertilize? Frank's just answered the question. Use tomato right. You can use a general purpose. You know, with anything that produces fruit, you can use tomato feed to feed that. That's fine. Comfrey tea is good. Your compost tea is good. I mean, most of the stuff that I fertilize my plants with is juice that runs out of my worm bin. Um, Leslie Hood's here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Uh, Not a problem at all. I hope you're keeping well. Uh, See, we've got another one from the North Pole that's here. On the plus side, she's leaving, so it looks like new plots coming. Um, you're gonna try and take her plot when she leaves. UVB and UVC are hitting the ground, and they should not have any UVC. Welcome to the grand solar minimum. See, what Drop's talking about now is going way beyond my head. Uh, so, so if you can make sense of that, if you can make sense of that, then there you go. uh, so get a mini greenhouse with UV protection for your blueberries. The thing is, greenhouses will make it quite. Do you know in the summer, greenhouses will be a bit too warm for blueberries over here, I think. Because and the other thing is because blueberries are they're an understory plant as well, so they're not that they can do well in decent. You know they can do all right in some shade. They don't need to be in full sun all the time. Uh, J3GS Farms is here. How are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. Hello, family and friends. How are you keeping? Um, I'm keen to plant blueberries, but when is the optimum time? Do I need to protect it in the winter with a fleece? Blueberries are surprisingly hardy. They're really hardy plants. So normally in autumn time, you can get bare root blueberry plants. I just get them then, and I think the ones that we've got planted, we planted in about September, October time, a couple of years ago, and we're getting blueberries now. So yeah, just wait till they're in the shops because bare root plants are always cheaper. So bare root trees, bare root fruit bushes, they're always cheaper. So I'd just wait then. Um, da, da, da. So my blueberry never did anything in buckets. How big a pot have you got them in? Because I've got mine in a massive, plastic trough, the ones that the builders use to mix the cement in. I've got them in. I've got mine in there.
Can you still use that?
Yeah,
It doesn't need to be any
yeah, you can use it.
wasting use on it.
Yeah, you can use it. It's fine.
Have a little hand up for that off.
He's got another nosebleed.
It's getting crazy.
Okay. So apparently this my son's getting. He's had two nosebleeds or three nosebleeds already today. So I might end a little bit early and go and see what's up with him. Um, you wait until we start rubbing nose. uh, not with us. Not with all this COVID. You know. What's it like over in Canada? Canada with the situation. How are you guys coping over there? Uh, we're in a grand solar considered purchasing. I saw. Hang on, I've mixed up the comments there. We're in a grand solar minimum, and it'll be bad as the Mulder minimum. I'm not sure what Mulder minimum is. The only Mulder I know is from X Files. Thanks. I saw some in store now. I'm considering purchase. I will. No, if they're in the shop, I'd just get them. I think they'll probably be potted plants. So I think you'll be fine if you get hold of them now. I think you'll be fine to plant them. Don't wait. Whenever it comes to fruit bushes and trees and stuff like that, um, plant them as soon as you can. If don't wait because as soon as the tree's in the ground, it's got that extra all that growing space, all that growing time, and you're not dropping yourself a year behind and all that sort of stuff. Um, I see you talking about blueberries, and my wife is telling me I need to go pick some blueberries and they're falling off. See, that's the way you want it. Blueberries that are falling off. My blueberries, they're about that big. The plants, yeah, that's all 2 3 foot high, and we just get a few, probably a handful of blueberries. But we're getting this year. We've had an amazing year with our cherries and strawberries. We're picking like a bowl full of strawberries a day. Everyone's getting fed up with strawberries at the minute. So I think it's cheese. Well, I think it's going to be cheesecake time tomorrow. My baby 13-month-old had nosebleed this morning, just random. See, my son's having them. He used to have them, and they gave him like a steroid cream to block, stop the bleeding in his nose. Um, but he's had a few today. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So not bad. COVID was dealt with well. We didn't have a total lockdown, but we socially distanced very well indeed. Lots of space in Canada. See, It's been handled horribly here. Absolutely terrible. Um, so Bouncer Slab's still here. He's still just hanging out. That's cool. Uh, have you found any chicken this year? Chicken of the woods. See, I want to get out and get looking. Uh, Mike, not a problem at all. We'll get you. I hope you get back to where you were. I really do hope you get back to where you were. Recently had a 5G tower put up. That'll mean faster internet then. That'll be really good for you. Uh, I've put mine in strawberry planters. I've put mine in planters up at height because the slugs are enjoying mine. You you okay. Your strawberry planters you put them high because slugs are thing is with our strawberries we grow enough so if the slugs take some then at least we're not completely we get our share, the slugs get their share, and everyone's happy. How big of a worm bin would you suggest I get set up for my windowsill garden? Do you know if you're setting up a worm bin for for a windowsill garden, then what I'd do is in the planter itself, set up your worm bin there. So get a piece of pipe, maybe 6 inches tall. Uh, no, maybe about 6 to 8 inches tall. Drill loads of holes into the bottom, bury that in, and just feed your bed through. Feed your planter through that. So put in your kitchen scraps into there, and the worms will just take it out of there and just continuously feed your planter. Um, So elevation sickness, oxygen deprivation, and poor equilibrium worldwide is not a virus. It's an electromagnetic disturbance or wave disturbance. Okay, I don't know what that means. Um, Midnight Gardeners here. How are you doing? You nearly missed it. You nearly missed it. We're very close to calling it a day. Yusuf Bai's here. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much for coming in. Um, what are you cooking, Sam? Tell us what you're cooking because I'm getting hungry as well. Um, I've been to the allotment today. Huge swarm of bees came across, and it was the weirdest thing. Was thousands of them. Were you in the middle of them? That would have been awesome. I already ate chicken of the woods 2 times. I need to get mushroom hunting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna drag the kids and the wife mushroom hunting tomorrow. Bouncy, you're inspiring me. Uh, so twice with H and Forces and a 10-day tour some years later with my wife. I have a cousin who lives in Vancouver Island, and we who stayed. um, See, I've not been to Canada. At Niagara Falls, so we looked at Canada. I went to university for a bit out in Pennsylvania. So we drove up through New York State up to the top, had a look at the Niagara Falls, and then looked across at Canada. Um, so Sam's after plot treat is cheese on toast. Nice. You need some beans on there, man. Calling it a day. Dina, you off? um, been busy. Went. Oh, you talking about me putting in a half shift? Or so yeah, I told you I'm a bit behind today. I'm tired because we've been building garden beds and stuff. Um, that's my excuse anyway. I've been busy today. Just went to an awesome garden, Barnsdale Garden, which comprises of 38 awesome gardens. I saw your photographs on Facebook. It does look like a nice place to be. I'm making oxtail for dinner, sort of Cuban style, but more like Africans cook it. Mm. There's some exotic cooking in here. There's some real chefs and stuff. Uh, Leslie's in the middle of something. I'm not sure what. Don't normally grow anything that's less than £10 a gram, but my tomatoes and peppers are coming on like nicely. What do you grow? What do you normally grow? £10 a gram. That's an expensive vegetable, whatever that is. Ten. What's £10 a gram? I think you should braid your beard like Dave from Dave's Allotment. Dave, are you on about Blue Star Dave? He hasn't got a braided beard. Um, would you? Eh? Those are the unpublished beginning symptoms of the pandemic due to and some hobgoblins transferring the oxygen. Okay. I'm not. I'm not following you, mate. At least I think that's still classed as cooking, but I can't cook. I like cooking, you know. Excuses, excuses. Go get your beauty sleep. We all. Tony's here. Tony the man is here. Tony, have you seen where I'm at today? Uh, we hit the big 6,000 subscriber mark today, so I'm quite happy. I'm very happy actually with that. Um, yeah, yeah. So we got we yeah we work, so we'll be coming and going. Tony, not a problem. I think not. I think I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. He's not growing vegetables. He's growing other stuff. Yeah, Blue Star Dave should you should He hasn't got a braided beard though. I saw him the other day. He's just got a big bushy beard. Uh, Tony, that one video's just gone crazy. It's absolutely gone crazy. It's bringing some a lot of traffic in. Do you know that one video at the moment is bringing in is bringing in more views in a couple of days I used to get all month. It's just gone absolutely bonkers. Cheers, Frank. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks, guys. Thank you very much. I'm quite happy with that. It happened today. I was think my target was end of August, but that video just went absolutely bonkers. Yeah, it's just gone mental. Don't crop me now. Yeah, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I did a video on composting, so I've developed a technique of composting grass and leaves and stuff like that in a really short space of time in less than 2 weeks. In about 10 days, you can get some compost. And that video has just gone absolutely bonkers. It's my highest, it's my most successful video at the moment. I think it's sitting at about 35,000 views, so I'm very happy with that. Uh, just go back and reread later though. It's my birthday today, and I'm not sure. uh, yeah, yeah, that's brill. Keep following the tips, and you'll get loads of videos that do it. I'm on it, Tony. I'm on it. Yeah, I think I'm not. Yeah, I don't know what to say, mate. Thanks everyone. Thanks, Tony, for everything. Uh, uh, I stopped counting at 50. Would have to think about. See, Frank, I'm still claiming for that video going viral. What, Frank? Whatever you're doing, do it to my other videos as well, mate. Yeah, do it to my other videos. Get them viral as well. Don't crop me now. Oh yeah, I've seen that video. Quite a few people on our plot have been talking about it. Ah, okay, that's interesting. What did they say? What did they say about it? And are they quite positive about it? Are they? Because I've got some on a couple of composting groups on Facebook. Some of them were quite skeptical. Um, they were saying I'm making something, but they would some of the Puritans wouldn't call it compost. Um, I'm not a Puritan by any stretch of the imagination. As long as it helps my plants grow, I'm happy with it. And same thing when it comes to compost tea and leachate and that kind of debate. I don't get into it as it feeds my plants. It's organic. It's come from my garden. I'm happy to use it. So yeah, there we go. Uh, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Absolutely. If you haven't hit that thumbs up for me, please hit that thumbs up. Uh, well, no fufu for the oxtail. What's fufu? It's good to upset the accepted values. Tony, yeah, the thing is, do you know, like, you know me, I like playing with compost, and I like, playing a few different, doing whatever, um, well, yeah, I just like playing with compost, different techniques, trying my hot. It took me a long time to learn how to hot compost, and now I learned how to hot compost. I want to do other things. And that's why I do my chicken composting. I do my composting separate, and I start doing things like this, making my leaf mold, and I start doing things like experimenting. And this is a technique that's I've done it a few times. It's worked, and then I thought, right, let's put it out there and let's show people, especially with the lockdown crisis, that people are struggling to get compost. So here, there's something here that can help you. Um, I just had everything in my garden eaten by slugs. Please, can you help me? Thank you. Debs, what's happened? Tell us what's happened. Um, I'm about to call it a day, but I'm going to listen to your question, and then let's see what we can do. Go on, tell us what's happened. They seem quite intrigued. I turned my compost heap today and I have 2 tons of compost, but I would like to produce some more quickly, and I'm going to have a go at your method. Nice one. See, the thing about this method is it's good for small batches. Do you know? It's developed. There's the Berkeley method of 18-day composting, and you can do a lot. It relies on a bulk amount to get, produce a lot of compost really fast. But this relies. It takes from that. It takes from solarization. It takes from using bacteria. Using sugar to feed bacteria. It combines quite a few different things to make this little method that you can um, make a small amount of compost, get it to heat up, and get your compost created. Um, so I modified your method. I had some soaking cardboard due to the rains, threw it all over the lawn. I cut it. See, it turned to pulp mixed with the grass. It'll break down in no time. That stuff. It'll really break down in no time now. I never got to forget the steam that came out of my heap 4 days after building it. It's so satisfying as well when you've got a nice big compost heap and they start steaming, and when you get it to steam for the first time, it's so satisfying. Fufu is a stable food common in many countries in West Africa and Central Africa. It is flour made from either cassava or mashed plantains. Ah, okay. So I started putting my cardboard through the shredder, and I was going to use it with grass. See, that'll be fine. I mean, I prefer the method with leaves. Do you know, if you've got leaves, and if you haven't got leaves, then cardboard's a substitute, because cardboard does take it. Do you, like in the video, you might have seen that some of the cardboard was still there in pieces, so it does take a little bit longer. So I do, if I, if I had to choose cardboard or leaves, I'd say leaves for that method. But cardboard will work if you haven't got the leaves. Debs, get some nematodes. It'll sort your slug compost almost, slug problem almost instantly. I think, yeah, yeah. Tony's got a really good video on um, making your own nematodes for free. I mean, I did a video on what nematodes are and all that sort of stuff last year, but he's got a video on how you can make your own nematodes for free, so that might help you. Put my seedlings in doing well, and then it rained and a lot of them even ate the marigolds. See that. Were you growing your marigolds as a sacrificial plant, or were you growing them for ornamental purposes? Fufu is hard to find in northwest USA, but Atlanta I could find it everywhere. Do do they have what sort of grocery shops do they have over there? And do you have a good mix? Do you have some international shops? How long do you leave the slugs in the water to make it, Tony? Um, there's a question for you, Tony. If you haven't seen it, how long do you leave the slugs in the water to make your nematodes? If it's a sacrificial, uh, right? So, Tony, if you've got a link to that video, that'll be quite helpful for everyone. For the protection of the tomato plants. Okay, so did the tomato plants make it? Ashley's allotments here. How are you, Ashley? Thank you very much for coming in. Good evening, my adoring subjects. How are you keeping, mate? Thank you very much for coming in. Atlanta has a huge international population from all over the world: Africa, Middle East, Asians, you name it. So there are many international farmers market that carry traditional food. Okay, so if they've eaten your marigolds and your tomatoes have made it, then that's okay. Um, that's better. That's better news. Because that's what a lot of reason a lot of the marigolds are grown for, to complement to grow with tomatoes, so they can work as a sacrificial crop. Um, so there's the link to Tony's nematode video. If you can make your own nematodes, and that'll help with your slug problem. So Debs, hopefully, Tony's video there should help you with your slug problem. Guys, I've been on for nearly an hour and 20 minutes, and I'm sure I'm going to get some stick from Dean for doing a part-time shift today. I'm going to call it a day there, and go and get something to eat. So thanks for watching, everyone, and thanks for coming in, and having a bit of a chit chat with us. Much appreciated. You guys take care, and I'll see you all very soon.